Now, I don't normally reference practice as my intro piece, but what a tension-filled session so far. We'll definitely talk about it in just a few moments, but hello everyone and welcome to round number 9 of the 2017 NASCAR RallyCross Challenge season presented by AmSoil. It's the first time in Asia as we are at the famous Suzuka International Racing Course for the Japanese RallyCross Grand Prix. And it's Josh Mertz up in the commentary box bringing you the call as always for the Automotive Sports Network. And I hate to bring up the Super Truck shows that we haven't done yet, but when you see this race, you're going to know why tensions have been ramped up considerably. Very dramatic race earlier on, very dramatic seeding round, and these teammates are going for each other's throats as we get close to the end of this championship. So we have 11 cars here today in Suzuka. We will have 2 quarterfinals still, 2 semis, LCQ, and a final. We're not that far away from 3 quarterfinals, but we do need 12 cars in order to do so. But this is going to be great, as Victor Valley was the fastest in seeding, and he will lead us in quarterfinal 1. Getting ready for the first quarterfinal. Livengood, Hagenstein, Wetz, Valley, and Fenstermaker. Green flag, and off the line, Hagenstein makes contact with
Red
Valley.
Flag.
Into Livengood. And it looks like they all just came together.
Dylan F., just kind of make it slowly through the course. Just follow the car in front of you.
We should get back in the pit road.
I'm going to reset, right?
How did I get penalized? I got fucking booted around!
I'll look at it.
I'm looking at it too.
24 is not allowed to reset.
What?
There's no reset. That is a rule.
Fucking thanks a lot, Tristan. Fucking idiot.
Dude,
That's a warning to the 24.
Drama on the start here in Suzuka, as Hagenstein got loose on the start.
I'm gonna put that on the 3 as well. It looked like you just spun
into
your
Valley,
tires.
into Livengood.
Yeah, what Tristan? All you do is tire spun it.
So the
It's ridiculous, whatever though.
3 will leave a car length where he gridded.
Go back to everyone go back to your same spots.
Fucking thanks.
Warning number
Victor.
2 to the 24.
Dude,
That
shut
will
the
not
fuck
be
up! I don't want to hear it
tolerated.
from you!
Warning to the 3.
Just everybody chill.
Emotions running high in the quarterfinal.
So returns the same grid spots. The 3
Sure.
will leave 1 car length.
So Dylan F., basically go to where you were.
Good win,
Basically
23.
imagine-
For this heat race, Tristan and Victor are muted.
That's not a good idea.
Just line up where you used to be. So like in that same spot, but just like turn.
And Fenstermaker, Dylan Livengood's friend and roommate,
Stuck in neutral.
filling
Just
in
line up behind
for
the 23.
Brendan Berg. And this is his first event.
Line
Yeah,
up
there
behind
is.
the
You got to
23.
downshift one more.
So, the novice making his debut in the NASCAR
Downshift
RallyCross
one-
Challenge
there
it goes. I wasn't doing it.
just to experience the RallyCross
On like
the event outer edge process.
of this, right?
Yeah, but just line up. You see where the 3 is. That. You see
6
that white
laps.
line?
Joker once. This is restart attempt number 1. Good
wait,
luck,
never mind.
gentlemen.
Getting ready for the restart in Suzuka. Wetson living it on the front row. Then it's Hagenstein and Fenstermaker. Green flag. Off the line. Let's see if we'll get away cleaner this time. It looks like the teammates are going to be side by side out of the final corner. Down the jump towards the first chicane. His race control did not want the cars going super quick into turn 1. Built the chicane. And now we go into turns 1 and 2. Fenstermaker off the road. Through 1 and 2 onto the dirt. And we know Suzuka from the F1 races is going to be great over the second tabletop. And up the S's. One of the best parts of the Suzuka circuit. And Livengood leads us in the first quarterfinal. As it's Revolution 1-2, remember Valley in 5th. Will not take part in the restart. And Wet's Jokers in the first lap of the race. Hagenstein runs it wide, nearly makes contact with the 23. As the Joker and the grid are the same section here in Suzuka. And over the jump, Living Good leads at the end of the first
End
lap.
of 1, 21 leads.
Into the chicane once again. See, nearly hits the wall. It's a very tricky entry into the chicane. Hagenstein hits it in 3. And Fenstermaker in the 91. As Hagenstein very upset over the radio after that incident with Valley. And clearly, not having a good day is Hagenstein. But Living Good still leads us. Wetz jokered on the first lap of the race. We're going to have to see what Living Good will do in the 21. He was going to mimic and flip the strategy on his teammate. He's going to exit the joker, and Wetz takes the lead in car number 23. So the East course here at Suzuka runs turns 1 and 2 up the
End of
S's.
2, 23 leads.
And before the Dunlop curves, we cut off to the right-hand side. So right around, and I hate to bring this up, but right around where Jules Bianchi had his accident in 2014, you make a right-hand corner, and then you're back right past the Casio Triangle chicane. So from Dunlop to the Casio Triangle is omitted from the East course, so we have the S's, turns 1 and 2, and that hairpin. 55.855 for Wetz. He pipped his teammate on the Joker merge as he ran a 58.305. Hagenstein ran a 57.2. I don't believe he has jokered yet, but it is a longer lap. We're normally used to, for example, the last couple weeks, Lakewood and Negus had a shorter lap. Now it's like
End of 3, 23
Canada,
leads, halfway
sorry.
home.
It's like Canada when the lap is longer. So it's definitely a change of pace, as now you can joker on the first lap of the race and gain all your time back, versus the shorter lap, you may have to joker on the last lap of the race. As over the jump, you'll notice our addition to the cars, the winner sticker there underneath the number plate's been there for a little bit along with the red plate, but our camera angles really never showcase that, as the drivers carry that if they have won a race. And Wetz won in Long Island earlier this season. So a lot like the NASCAR boys do. Above the driver's side window on the roof rail, NASA RallyCross picked that up as well. Wetz ran a 56.364. Living Good ran a 57 flat. Let's go on board car number 21 here in Suzuka.
End of 4, 23 leads.
And we'll ride on board here with Dylan Living Good in the 21 for lap number 5 through the chicane. A very
91 leaders are
tricky,
coming.
very tricky blue
Just trying
flag,
to stay on the outside.
as you can hear from race control for the 91 of Dylan Fenstermaker. As the rookie making his debut today. And will he stay out of the way? Yes, he does, for the most part. But I think he's going to hold up Living Good in the 21. And Hagenstein still back in third. Looks like he had an issue in the Joker, so
Thank you.
he will be out of the running for the quarterfinal win. I think Wetz has an easy run to this quarterfinal win, but we'll have to see with 1 lap to go in Suzuka.
End of 5, 23 leads, white flag.
56.872. It's a second slower than his fastest lap, but he knows that he has Fenstermaker into the tires in the 91. Looks like the car's still running, so he refired it really quick and kept it going. It looks like Hagenstein might have rolled it in the 3. But Wetz is a second slower. He knows he has this lead. He knows he probably has the win in the bag for the quarterfinal and those 2 bonus points. He is battling Mertz for second in points, as Erdman, coming in, has a 13-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. And Wetz will narrow that gap by a few points as he comes off the final corner, and he will win the quarterfinal, his second of the
Checkered
season
flag,
in
23 wins
Suzuka.
and transfers. To the semi will be the 21.
And I apologize, his third quarterfinal this season,
I
as
agree.
Living Good goes to the semifinal, along with Fenstermaker
Unfortunately,
and Hagenstein. Getting ready for the second quarterfinal. Johnson, Lester, Smith, Kraus, and Mertz. We are missing Erdman. He got penalized. Green flag off the line. It's going to be Johnson at the hole shot with Lester, Kraus, Mertz, and Smith. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything when it comes to the Super Trucks race, but as Lester to the inside into the tires, and both him, and Johnson moved out of the way. I'm not going to spoil what happened in the Super Truck race, but he got penalized from that and prohibited as Dylan Smith off the road, really preventing me from saying what I need to say.
Anyway.
Around is Johnson, on his side is Dylan Smith.
I was listening off the mark, too.
But long story short, while I have a moment to speak, Cody Erdman was prohibited from the quarterfinals, so that's why you did not see him last race, and you will not see him this race. You'll see him in just a moment in the semifinals. But he may not even be allowed to participate in the semifinal. We'll have to see. Race control still deliberating that decision. Mertz jokered on the first lap of the race. And Kraus leads at the end of the first lap.
End of 1:19.
Oh, sorry.
Through the chicane.
What was going on?
As that chicane was much tighter a couple moments ago. They had cones instead of tire barriers for the Super Truck race. Everyone complained about them, and they were able to fix those tires. Smith is still on his side. He has gotten out of the car, and then Johnson in third, along with Lester in fourth. But this is going to be interesting because Erdman, that was a very bad move that he pulled in the Super Truck race. And like I said, we can't wait to broadcast those races for you. That was a very interesting race. Kraus into the tire barrier in the 19. So that gives Mertz the lead in the quarterfinal. And a very slippery track here in Suzuka. As Mertz into the chicane.
2-2.
Very quick right, left. And you can hear the tension over the radio. As race control, Erdman not calling the lap times for these guys. And the hood buckled on that Citroen C4 for Philip Kraus, but our first-time winner a couple weeks ago. Trying hard to gain his second win potentially today, one of the faster cars here in Suzuka. But he has to beat this guy, three-time winner this season. Mertz in car number 2. It's very tricky. As Lester up to third, Johnson back to fourth, so they swap positions.
Yep.
And everyone has damage here, except for the 2 coming across flags in Suzuka.
And the 3-2.
And if you get this entry wrong, you will be spit out at a very horrible result. Very bad ending. On board Lester, you'll see how difficult this is. You gotta aim to the left, position the car, and snake it through the tire barrier. And Lester, issue under acceleration, puts it into the wall again. Johnson slams into the tire barriers. We're on board with all these cars. And now we're on board Mertz. In car number 2. Third gear, 70, 80 miles an hour. Up the hill to the left, and normally you'd continue to the left, but like I said, we make that hard right before the service road, and back out onto the front straightaway. And remaining on board, car number 2, over the tabletop on the front straightaway, in front of the massive grandstands. Turn 1 chicane, very tricky, 100 miles an hour into the right and the left. 55.777. What a number. Puts him second quickest as he drifts it through turn 2. Looks like he had a little bit of an issue. As our
If you're going
camera
to
feed
encourage
still
your
works.
teammate, take me off the whisper.
Well, maybe because I accidentally hit our whisper.
If you're going to play these games, you're gone
Drama.
from the team.
I can paint my car for next week.
Drama unfolding. Very, very tense moments on the MRT scanner. As Erdman tried to talk to Kraus and came across on Mertz's ear. 2 to go.
It's 6 laps, right?
Yep.
Yep. White flag.
No.
White flag,
You
sorry,
shut
in
the fuck
Suzuka.
up!
And everyone,
Drivers meeting, seriously.
everyone on everybody's head today in Suzuka. Kraus pushing hard, trying to catch Mertz. He ran a 54.966. Remember how we had that discussion a couple weeks ago? When Philip Kraus gets mad? Yeah, he's half a second faster than Mertz. And they ran their fastest laps last lap. It was 55.6 for Mertz, 54.9 for Kraus. But I don't think he'll have the time to get him. Up the hill, into the hairpin for the final time. And I think Kraus hitting the wall was his enemy in the quarterfinal. Mertz will come down the front straightaway and win quarterfinal 2 in Suzuka.
Checker flag, 2 wins, 19 second.
Lester comes home 3rd, Johnson 4th, and Dylan Smith in 5th. This is going to be a great round of semifinals. Semifinal A in Suzuka. It's Valley, Livengood, and Hagenstein. And you know Valley and Hagenstein
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I
are
was
mad at each
muted.
other.
So what's
4
your
laps,
sexy
getting ready to go.
English?
Green flag. Off the line. Hagenstein got really close to Valley, but he didn't make contact with him this time. Over the jump to start the first lap. Livengood leads Valley. Hagenstein into the chicane. Into turn 1. Single file.
If you keep on him, you'll win. So don't push.
Single file. Valley 2nd. Might be holding up Hagenstein there a little bit. Bad blood between those guys. They've been arguing all night. But Livengood trying to hold this semifinal lead. Up the S's for the first time. Livengood had an issue through the left there. Valley got really close. Hagenstein drifting it up the hill. And it's very tricky to know if nearly there's contact between them, Valley and Hagenstein. They both joker on the first lap of the race. It's very tricky to get the line right. Hagenstein had a bit of an issue there. He is very upset.
He is so in the way!
Very upset at Valley
End of 1:21.
as Livengood leads at the end of the first lap.
Just lost even more ground to him.
Keep digging.
Over the radio, Hagenstein upset at Valley. You saw when Valley entered the joker very slow compared to Hagenstein. Livengood's loving this. The 21 is absolutely loving this. Look at the gap between them. As Hagenstein out of the way, out of the jump there.
Why is that happening?
And into the tire barrier. And the LCQ goes car number 3. Now it's going to be if Valley can catch Livengood, but I don't believe so.
I made a
Livengood
mistake.
jokers locked up
Made a
the brakes
mistake.
there. No competition on the strategy. Halfway home in the semifinal.
I made a mistake.
Livengood still leads.
End of 2. Halfway home. 21 leads.
Valley looked like he had an issue through the chicane there. Clipped the tires and looped the 24. Good
It makes you
save
feel
to
better.
keep it
Victor
off
just
the
fucking
wall.
looped it, so.
It doesn't because I'm done.
But the 21, we can essentially say uncontested, but, and I brought this up every semifinal since Mertz threw it off a couple weeks ago.
No, I don't know if he was just trying to pay you back or if that was just him being slow, but he was fucking awful going into the Joker.
That's why I was trying so hard to keep it off him because I know we're already at each other's fucking throats. So if I give him the slightest touch, he's gonna react.
And off the final corner, coming to the white flag in
He's just so
Suzuka.
fucking pissed.
I think we need a super long break from this.
Agreed.
End of 3, white flag, 21 leads.
Lots of discussion
Like
over
he's
the
got a-
radio, making my job very easy today.
I don't know what it is anymore, Cody. It's like, I don't know if we just take it so seriously that we get stressed or what. Because it never used to be like this. Well, I mean, never used to. I mean, it's been like this for like 4 years now, which kind of sucks. But 2012 was great.
No, just we all beginning of the season we were let's play by the rules and let's go by the rules, and now we're doing the same shit that we did every fucking season that people get pissed off and leave about.
And Valley off the road in the 24. Adding insult to injury, but
No,
living good.
I'm not saying no because I'm defending myself or anything. I'm genuinely curious. Aside from earlier, was there any other instances?
Off the
No,
final
it's-
corner. Living good wins the semifinal.
I'm just getting annoyed by the fucking,
Checkered flag, 21 wins and transfers.
not the favoritism, but the, every season we go, oh, we're gonna go play by the rules. We do it for 3 races, and then it shit slowly starts going back to the way it used
24
to
to
be.
the LCQ along with the 3.
Johnson, Kraus, Lester, and Dylan Smith getting ready for the second semifinal here in Suzuka. Green flag off the line. The constructor cars will battle to turn 1. It looks like no. Dylan Smith gets a terrible start. Put him to 4th. Johnson 2nd. Lester 3rd. Kraus leads us past the start-finish line to begin the first lap of the race. Into the chicane. Johnson gets through it. Lester does not. Looks like he clipped the tire barrier and sends the 13 off the track. Johnson off the road in the 527. Throwing gears extremely hard is Philip Kraus in the 19. Off the road was Johnson. Back onto the road, and now he's off it again. Doing the landscaper's job for him. Puts Dylan Smith to 2nd. Through the S's. Dylan Smith still in 2nd. Philip Kraus in the lead as we come off the final corner to end the first lap of the race.
End of 1, 19 leads.
Zach Johnson looks like he jokered but had an issue. Lester jokered as well. They are battling for the 3rd spot. As Phil Kraus trying to hold this semifinal lead. Remember we mentioned...
Can you mute your mic?
Due to that issue in the Stadium Super Trucks race, we will see Erdman in just a moment in the LCQ, but he was unable to compete. He was barred from competing in the quarterfinal and the semifinal. And that's not the first time we've seen that. We saw an infraction from Mertz.
Hey, Cody.
Squirrel.
I'm not mad at you.
I know.
Like, as a person. Like, as a racer, I fucking hate you right now. But it's okay. End of 2, 19 leads.
So we
I
saw
get it,
that
I get it.
infraction happen with Mertz, technical infraction 2015A in
We just need a little, we need some
Lakewood.
legit structure here, is what we need.
and
That's what I'm trying. Like, I've been trying
that
that.
put him in
I
the
get
LCQ.
that.
He missed the final then, so
It's
we'll have
hard,
to see what happens today.
Believe me, like, I don't really know. I don't want to sound, biased or anything. I try really hard, and I make one wrong call, and everyone, crucifies me.
Alright, that I get. In my opinion, my penalty's a little over exaggerated, but I didn't bitch, so. I legitimately wasn't coming after you until you were like, oh, Super Trucks. That's pretty much when I came after you. I was not legitimately trying to take you out until then.
White flag.
White flag, 19 leads.
Like, I know it
For
looked like
Kraus.
it, but I was just goofing off. Until
Dylan Smith
I
still
said
in
Super
second.
Trucks.
knew.
I said that because I moved Philip.
Oh, I know, I saw that. I was right behind you guys, I saw that.
And I mean that's why I said. I mean that's what that series is designed for, is beating and banging. I mean
I know, I get it.
we've gotten so used to not touching each other that when someone makes contact, they're freaking out, and I don't want that.
Discussing the penalty over the MRT scanner, making my job very easy as I don't have to say many words. But when I do have to say words, it's Philip Kraus winning the
I think we go
semifinal.
back to 2-car teams too, by the way.
19 wins.
And he goes to the final in Suzuka.
Yeah, I didn't really like the 3-car. Doesn't really allow for the 3 cars were allowed because I thought I was going to have 4 teams. Second place is the 22. Was there a 4th car in this race?
Yes.
Me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
LCQ time
And then
in
the
Suzuka.
527 will bring it home in third.
3 laps. This
Three
is gonna
laps.
be good.
Joker once. Good
Joker
luck,
once.
gentlemen.
Oh, my
Smith,
engine died!
Erdman, Hagenstein blows his engine on the start.
Are you kidding?
2 surround, or 1 around.
So, Valley into the tire barrier. Dylan Smith, Lester, Erdman spun on the start. It's Zach Johnson. Valley hit the
Not really
tires.
sure what that was, 24.
Hagenstein blew his engine. There's
Forgot
no
it.
red flag.
And I had
But
to
look at all
try
the
and move
drama,
forward.
and we haven't even started the
Didn't really
LCQ
work.
yet.
Because if I was to keep doing that, I would have fucking plowed the 22.
So
That would be
now,
cool.
let's recap this. Dylan Smith and Casey Lester are in
Careful
the
on
transfer
track limits,
spots.
one.
Defending
That's what
champion
I listed
Erdman
after.
is not in the final right now. He hasn't gotten a lot of practice. He was not allowed to run the quarter and the semi because of that issue in the Stadium Super Trucks race. Jokering on the first lap
No
of the
way.
race,
No,
I
you're good,
believe
Sid.
was Dylan Smith. Hagenstein still sitting in the Subaru trying to get it to run even though the
End
engine's
of
dead.
1, 22 leads.
Look at the gap that Erdman has to claw back.
527, go down
Has
the pit
Dylan
lane, fine.
Smith into the tire barrier. Lester ran it wide. Johnson ran down the pit lane.
Trying
Looks
to
like he had an
roll
issue
off
off the
into
final
gravel.
corner.
Tried to compensate for this chain.
Erdman third. Johnson fourth. Fifth Valley. And Hagenstein's trying to get that car to roll off the track. There are a lap and a half to go, and Cody Erdman is on the outside looking in for the LCQ. And if he misses this final, this blows this championship wide open because he has that 13-point lead. But if he does not make this final, that gives him 7th place points at the best. 7th place is 19. For example, if he wins, it's 31 points. That's his championship lead gone. But there's one lap, and anything can happen in NASCAR RallyCross.
White flag,
typically
22
does.
leads.
Dylan Smith leads the LCQ. Lester second. Erdman third. Valley, Johnson, and Hagenstein. Fenstermaker was deemed to be 100%, 107% slower, the 107% rule. He was not allowed to compete in the semi, and he's not allowed in the LCQ. So the 91 was parked after the quarterfinal. Lester is getting hounded by Cody Erdman in the 1. And Erdman's got one shot. You can't pass anyone through the S's. He's only got one shot through that final hairpin. And it's going to be tricky because you know Lester's going to defend. He's his team owner, but he's running for a final. We'll have to see. Dylan Smith will win the LCQ. Into the final corner. Lester v. Erdman. Erdman gets close. Off the track goes Cody Erdman. He gains the
Give up some
traction.
time.
Lester second. We're going to be battling to the
22
line.
wins.
It's Lester v. Erdman at the
Yes!
Oh
line.
god, oh god.
And
13
Lester.
transfers, 1 is out.
Thanks for fucking my championship.
You cut the track.
Coach.
I lifted.
Wait, no. He
I'll
got
take a look at it.
24.
I think.
7th is the 1. 8th is the 24.
527.
9th is the 527. 10th is the 3. 11th is the 91.
Before the final starts, I'll take a look at it. We're all good.
Wetz,
Good luck.
Mertz, Living Good, Kraft,
Thank you.
Dylan Smith, Casey Lester. Normally we'd only have 6, but Erdman makes it 7 because of the blown call. It's lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. And off the line, Mertz will get the jump off the grid and down to the first corner. What a jump for car number 2. You know he's upset after that call. Contact between the teammates. It's Wetz and Dylan Smith, and send him off the road. All 3 Revolution Racing cars had an issue in turn 1. And Mertz leads us, and it's Phil Kraus and Cody Erdman
Take a
in
look at
3rd.
it.
Just on the look at it was my fault.
4th is Lester, 5th is Wetz, 6th is Living Good, 7th is Dylan Smith. And you know Mertz is mad. Drama all night as he was race control for the LCQ. Incorrectly called the 1 to lift off after passing or attempting to pass Casey Lester. Dylan Living Good overrode that and put the 1 in the final, and he's in 3rd. And Mertz is upset because as they were gridding up, He claimed that it advocated track cutting. Kraus did not joker. He takes the lead at the end of the first
End
lap.
of 119.
Mertz in second. Erdman third.
Well, end of one now.
Lester fourth. Fifth is Wetz. Sixth is Livingood. And Dylan Smith will end the race today in seventh as he crashed once again in car number 22. Not a good night for the German who won in Munich. And Philip Kraus, our latest first-time winner in the NASA RallyCross Challenge, won 2 weeks ago, in the Proving Grounds in Lakewood. Holds the lead at a 55.831. Mertz ran a 58.2 as he did joker on the first lap of the race. So now it's going to be interesting to see if Mertz is going to joker again, but he is pushing very hard. He's very upset in the 2 because of the issue that has transpired. And he tried to joker, and he throws it into the tires. And his teammate now battling with him. And I don't think he's playing nice. He's not playing nice at all.
End of 219.
And you know he's going to play the politics game. Holding up his teammate is car number 2. He lets him through. But will he fight him for the second spot? Fourth is Wetz. Looks like he had a little bit of an issue again in the 23. Lester, Livingood. Order has not changed. We're going to focus on these teammates because this is the drama-filled evening that we've had in Suzuka. They've been yelling at each other over the scanner, over the open scanner, over the team scanner, all evening, all day, all weekend. Hasn't been a fun time. And we'll see if Mertz goes to the joker again, or attempts to joker again. He successfully makes it to the joker this time. And now he's going to battle his teammate out. His strategy card is played, and Philip Kraus still holds the lead. 55.654 for Erdman last lap. He's going to cross the line. 56.7.
Yes.
Mertz ran a 57.5 in car number 2. Livingood back in 6th. Actually, Livingood has parked the car in the 51, or the 21, sorry. Lester loops it in 5th spot. So attrition is playing heavily here in Suzuka. And this battle between these teammates, it's electrifying, for lack of a better word. As Phil Kraus
disconnected from your channel,
holding the lead, he's all by himself as the teammates are battling together. I don't believe Erdman jokered a second time. I believe he's only jokered once, but we'll have to see what happens with the teammates. Mertz got very close
Cross
to him.
flags, 19 leads.
Halfway home for Philip Kraus in car number 19. From the helicopter, 55.236 to a 55.216. They were identical last lap, and Mertz is flying to take the fight to his teammate. And I've never seen a harder battle for second before until today. As Mertz held the lead, but he had an issue attempting to joker on his second time. He runs it a little bit shallow, I'd say wide, but he cut the track.
Yeah, you're good.
I saw that, thank you.
Cut the track, but he did lift.
Yeah, I followed you. It didn't work well.
He's playing, and Erdman looks like he's playing some games, as remember, they had that discussion, but Mertz is trying ever so hard to pass his teammate and championship leader. Kraus takes 3 laps to go in the 19. All by himself is the Canadian. We're focusing on this battle.
19.
And what a fascinating battle this is for the second spot here in Suzuka. On board Mertz, he locks it up and into the tires!
Fuck.
And he gets hit by Wetz! And that takes the 2 out of it.
Sorry, Wentz. God damn it.
2 is Beast near the chicane.
Put him to 5th.
He's off.
4th is Lester. 3rd is Wetz. 2nd is Erdman. And 1st is Kraus. And I think this is the highest attrition that we've had in a NASA RallyCross race in quite some time. Jokering is Kraus. The 1 has no damage on it. The 19 has no damage on it.
Championship again.
.23 with a bent wing, and
End
the
of 619.
13 has some damage as well. 2 to go for Philip Kraus, and you heard the dejected voice of Josh Mertz on the scanner. admitting potentially that he won't be able to win this championship this season. I believe that will drop him to third in points. And Wets, if they end right now, Erdman has a 15-point lead. All he would have to do, actually looking at the points, I believe all Erdman has to do is show up to Vancouver next week. Because it's 31 points for a win. He's going to have 15 points. Ninth place is 15 points. And we've only had 9 cars. So Erdman just has to show up next week, which of course he will, and that will potentially give him the championship. But we're working the numbers too much. We're seeing too far into it. White flag for Kraus in Suzuka. He took the lead on the first lap of the race when Mertz jokered. Then Mertz killed the tire barrier, frankly, on the second lap of the race attempting to joker. And the pressure of this championship battle that he gave up in Watkins Glen and Long Island, the 2 weeks in a row. It's said that is why Mertz is in this hole, trying to overcompensate. He was on the podium in Canada, he won. Lakewood, he was second. Canyon City, he was third. But his teammate's been on the podium since he won in Watkins Glen, and I think that helped him and that rejuvenated him. But Kraus jokers on the last lap of the race, and he will come off the final corner and win his second career race. Philip Kraus makes it 2 wins in 2017 as he wins in Suzuka.
19, number 1 is second.
Erdman comes home in third. And Wets will come home
can I ask you a question?
in the third spot.
Yep.
Did you take the Joker twice?
Yep.
He did.
Okay.
I watched him.
Okay. I only saw him do it once.
I
Lester
totally
fourth.
didn't hit the wall both times, though.
Fifth Mertz. Sixth really good.
23's limping it home to third.
Seventh Dylan Smith. Eighth
19,
Valley.
Pete Moore. What's
Ninth
up?
Johnson.
You were saying 19
10th
before?
Hagenstein. And 11th
13
Fenstermaker. But what a race here in Suzuka. A very drama-filled race, attrition-filled race, a very tense race, really. And we haven't seen that in a long time, if not ever, in the NASCAR RallyCross Challenge. But what a strange season. But we still have 1 week left. And like I said, Erdman's got a huge lead, 15 points. But I mean, Hagenstein blew up on the grid in the LCQ, so anything can happen in Vancouver. I know I say that every week, but truly anything can happen. But that's Kraus's second win, and we're going to have a great race in Vancouver next week. Hope you can join us then. Hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the NASCAR RallyCross Challenge here in Suzuka. It all ends next week. But until then, so long, everyone.